As part of my new YouTube strategy, I wanted to kind of work on some quicker videos, things I could put out a little bit faster, things that really anyone can do. So for this one, what I want to talk about is how to make $100 in Cony. I don't want to waste your time, so I added timestamps below so you can skip to the parts or the sections that you actually want to see or you care about. Now let's talk about what the stock does. Cony is a yield max fund that is basically based on Coinbase. They do not own Coinbase, but they do options based on Coinbase. Usually call options, the way that at least the way it's set up currently. So basically, they make bets on what the price of Cony will be, and depending on where it lands, it generates some level of income. Now, when it comes to most stocks, not all, but a lot of them, there is something called a dividend. A dividend is basically a reward for being a part owner of a company. You can become part owner of a company by owning some of their stocks. Now, most people can only own small sections, not enough to really sway, let's say, a vote or anything like that. But one of the benefits that you get out of that is a dividend. And a dividend is basically the company giving you back some of their profits that they made or they generated throughout that month, quarter, year, however they choose to distribute them. Now, for Yield Max in particular, as you can see here, they do monthly dividends. So if you own this stock before the dividend cutoff date, you basically get paid out a certain amount. Some will do quarterly and some will do yearly. So that's one thing to keep in mind when doing these calculations. Now, you may be wondering, why is it that I'm focusing on $100? Most of the time when you see these videos, the person's talking about $1,000 a month, $500 a month. And is I know that's a good goal. That is a good goal for most people. The problem is the numbers that they need to invest to get to those numbers is quite staggering. I think a lot of people give up and they kind of feel like there's no way. There's no way I can get $30,000 in blah 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 stock to get to whatever that goal is. And that keeps people from even trying. And I think it's a much more digestible number is $100 a month. Also, $100 a month is a bill. It's maybe not your rents, not any of the really huge ones, but it could be a light bill, could be a water bill, could be a food for the week. It could be something. And more importantly, it helps you build out different habits and it helps teach you things about saving money and investing money. And that compounding over your lifetime can go a long way. So if you're somebody just starting out, this is something you can do. This is something that's attainable, something that's a biteable chunk that you can do for your future. All right. So for my calculations, yield max funds are a little bit tough because as you can see from this screen, they bounce around all the time. They're not really that consistent. But for just some simple calculations, you can just kind of do an estimate. You can see here 110, 104, 106, 15, 15. There's a couple twos in here, one and a half. And I think it's something that's very simple to say here is this is at least making $1 a month on average. It's more than that, but hey, that's a little bit of margin for error. If you were to be building out your own personal dividend calculator or something like that, one thing to note is when they pay, as it's been mostly consistent, other than this last one that happened on the 17th. You can see it's the 6th or the 7th, give or take a day or two for the most part. This last one, I believe, changed a little bit because Yield Max went to a kind of a category system where they have A, B, C, and D. And depending on where they put that particular fund, it now goes on that particular date or that particular week. So I believe Cony was moved to the third week or the second week of the year, something like that. And that's why the date changed. All right, let's get to the good stuff. All right, so the stock price for Cony is approximately $13.72 currently, and I'm just estimating the dividend of 109. Like I showed you, it's higher most of the time. It could be lower one day. You might look up and it's 98 cents, something like that. But I think this is a safe kind of in the middle number. There's 12 payments throughout the year as this pays monthly. And I'm estimating the yearly amount to be about $13.08. So just slightly below the current stock price. If you wanted $100 a month, you would need, matter of fact, I'll pull up a calculator just to show you in case you don't know. If you want to calculate this out for yourself, it's quite simple. What you need to do is figure out what is the number of stocks you need that times that dividend that's going to give you that amount. So let's say $100 divided by 1.09, that's the dividend. You come out to a number of 91.74, blah, 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 right? So at the point you have 91.74 shares, slightly more than that, you'll get 1.09 a month for that. And so times 1.09, and that's going to give you $100. That's your $100 a month. And that's something that should be consistent. It's not guaranteed. Companies are not guaranteed to pay you a dividend, but as you can see from the history, that's what they have been doing. Now, how much money would you need to do that? $1,211.01 based on the current price. So if this goes down, that number goes down. If it goes up, this number goes up. But this lets you know right up front, this is approximately the number you're going to need. You're going to need that 91 shares either way, but how much it costs could change. Now, let's say that's too much money. You cannot afford that. You say, I just can't, $1,000, I just don't have that. I can't get that. There's no way. What if you just start out with 50? All right. So the amount you would need for 50 is 45 shares, really 46. But let's say the actual number is 45.872, which is approximately $605.50. Now, if you can't do that, you really need to get out there and hustle a little bit and find a way to get a little bit of extra money. And if nothing else, just start buying them, start buying the shares little by little and see if you can save up to that. It becomes a goal. I need to save $600 this year. With that $600, you'll get $50 a month. And then that $50 a month, if you keep compounding it, eventually you can get that up to the $100 a month. All right. And so lastly, if everything stays the same, this is really quite important for yield max funds and really any type of investing. How long is it going to take you to get your money back? That's really what it all comes down to. How quickly can you get your money back, and how quickly will it grow? So if everything stayed the same for this, I'm calculating out it's going to take you a little over 12 months. And this makes sense if you look at it. If the stock price is $13.31 and the yearly amount you get is 13.08, the numbers are almost one for one. All right, that's all I got on this one. Hopefully it's a quick one, a little bit of funner, nothing too deep, nothing too serious. And oh yeah, in case you didn't know, I's a hobo. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you're still here, if you stuck around to the end, let me know what you think about Cony. Is anybody in this? Has anyone jumped out? Is anybody planning to jump in? It's really one of the cheaper yield max funds that I've seen that actually has gone up and down over the year. So I don't know. It's an interesting one to say the least. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.